Hi Fundis, you're welcome for today's live feedback session from the work that you have been doing. This is our second feedback session. We had a kickoff where we met together. Then we had a Zoom call where we wanted to iron out a few things, and last week we had a feedback session from the work that you did. I hope you have been able to adjust the work, and I hope you're progressing very well, because what gives me joy is in the end that you have been able to form a business, create a business, that your idea is marketable, that donors are looking for you to be able to fund your idea, that people have started now getting interested in funding your ideas. Me, that's what gives me joy, because after all these 11 weeks of meeting together, I don't want you to be like that bird that I told you from the Akamba proverb, that it gets off the ground and flies only to land on an ant hill. I don't want us to land on ant hills. I want us to keep flying. Every time we do work with you, please make sure you do adjustments and then move forward. Do not say that is now to the backside. No, make sure that you pay attention to the corrections, do the corrections, because this is your business in the end. Your idea is going to remain your idea, and what this theory is helping you to do is to bring together what you have and bring it to the best practice of founding a business, so that in the end you will have your business. So I welcome you today. As usual, as a custom, we are going to start with reviewing what we did last week and what was expected out of us. So last week's presentation was basically about effectuation. And those that watched the videos, Teresa was giving the four principles of effectuation. And then the first principle was a bird in a hand. That's what it is about. That start with your means. Start with what you have. Okay? Are you good at something? Do you have friends that can be able to support you, that you can rely on? Do you have family support? Who is supporting you, and what do you have? You are doing a course, and can you use that knowledge of the course that you're doing to be able to start your business? Okay, so that's what start with what you have means, which means a bird in a hand, because as the saying goes, a bird in a hand is worth two in the bush. So don't look at what you don't have, look at what you have and use what you have to be able to start a business. The second principle is the lemonade principle. Everybody, when you say you're going to make oranges, you're going to eat oranges, you will associate them with this sour taste. Okay? Oranges are usually not having a good taste. The only way you can chew them very well is when you make juice out of them, and that is the lemonade juice. So that is the lemonade principle, that you can make mistakes, you can have surprises in life, you can have failures, but use those mistakes and failures to get something good. Okay? You can fail at something today, and you learn from your past mistakes, and you make the idea very good. The next principle, the third principle, is the principles of partnerships. Okay? Enter new partnerships, form those partnerships. And partnership doesn't have to be structured. It can be anywhere. Every person that you meet is a potential partner for your business. Whether you're meeting at the lift like those people, or you have met a certain border guy, because he might be the person who is going to connect you to the next person who is going to connect you to the person who is going to fund your business. Okay? Even at school, the friends that you associate with, make time, listen to them, give them listening ears, and make sure that you give them the right avenues, because you never know, they might be the people that are going to be able to support your business. So enter partnerships. The last one, as you can see, it's a weighing scale. It's about being able to count your costs. Okay? Only invest as much as you can be able to lose. In business, there are risks and there are challenges. There are losses and there are profits. So only get to invest only that which you know that when you lose it, it will not affect you that much. So that's what it is. Whether it is time, invest the time that you know that when you lose in the end, you will not, complain. Whether it is about resources, money, invest only to the capacity where it will not be painful to you. So we also covered in the previous session about the major problems or uncertainties that we usually face. And we say that one is the individual uncertainties, or we ourselves, and then the next problem is the environment where we are. Those are the two major uncertainties that we usually face. And when it comes to individual, you can say that gentleman there is trying to push the earth, okay? Earth is where he will get everything else that he needs, but he's saying, I'm not willing to go up with the earth. So how would you classify that person? It is a person who lacks a vision, is a person who lacks goals, is a person who lacks orientation, is a person, who lacks, let me say, a purpose as to why he's doing what he's doing. So sometimes that is how we are when we are founding business. That even the people that would support us, we are trying to push them away. That's what the problem sometimes is. So define yourself and know what is limiting you as an individual from succeeding on the business that you would want to form. And another one, which is the earth. What are those things within the environment that you think are affecting your starting of a business? Okay, it could even be means of transport, it could be weather, it could be as you can see, it could even be birds, it could be a place where to be. Okay, so make sure that you look through your itinerary, things that are affecting you, and those things that you can be able to control, so that they do not cause a major problem, or they do not make your business uncertain of succeeding when you have started it. So we also looked at start with your means, or the bird in the hand is worthy many in the bush. That is the principle that we emphasized last week. And you say that in trying to define start with your means, you look at who you are, what do you know, and who do you know. Who you are, you look at the resources that you have at your disposal that can be able to help you to succeed in that business. Okay, it could be your education, it could be your family circle, it could be your friend circle, it could be your church, it could be your school, it could be anything that you think you have at your disposal and in your control that can help you to succeed. And in defining your means, we also look at what do you know, what things do you have knowledge about. Okay, we went through last week we went through the design thinking process. Okay, and we took you through how you can be able to identify a problem. So this helps you to also classify what do you know, about what you want to start. Okay, and if you do not know, you have to take an initiative to make sure that you enhance yourself in that exact area where you want to do an investment in. The third question that you will ask yourself when you're founding a business or a startup is, who do you know? Who do you know will grossly affect how your business will succeed, because no man is an island. You need everybody. Businesses thrive because of people, because of networks, as we are going to be saying. So when you define the people that are around you, who do you know that can help you to succeed? But in the initial phase of startup, you need to list every person else that you know that can be able to help you push, even that border guy who always takes you, very well, to school. Okay, even that matatu driver. You know that they'll reach a point when you have invested all your money and you do not have money to take you to the next point where you want to go. So it will be that border guy, that matatu guy, who is going to drop you there, and you promise him that for this whole month, take me, because you know that at the end of the month, you're going to get money and be able to pay him. So who do you know also determines so much your business success, your startup. So define, list down all the people that you think you know who can be able to support your business to grow. And then we also looked at the challenges with networking. Okay, why do people usually start networks and fail? That is the other challenge that we looked at. And there are two things that we looked at within there. We looked at stereotypes and we looked at personalities. Now, if you're to look at that gentleman there who is at the table there, if you enter a conference room and you found him just there, he's not the one, you don't know whether he's going to be the guest speaker or not, but you just found him there. And then they are looking for a seat, where to sit. Or they would want you to sit next to somebody, and that is the person that you're going to sit next to. Would you be comfortable sitting next to him? Why did you say no? You said no because, maybe you have this strong bias about people that that are amputed. You have this strong bias about people that are lame, that are not physically able, and you think that there is nothing good that can come out of them. You think they cannot support you with your ideas, so you tend to fence off. There are different people that we fence off who are part of our networks, who sometimes actually are the door that we need for us to succeed in our businesses. So you see that gentleman is called Nick. I want you to look for him. Nick is a disabled. He says he was born disabled in 1982. But what Nick has done in inspiring people, you cannot tell. He's far better than any people that have both hands and both feet working. So that is who Nick is. Sometimes the stereotypes that we have about people, about places, about certain businesses are the hindrances for our success in that particular business area that we want to invest in. So check around. What are the stereotypes that you have? Define them and see how you can be able to mitigate them. The second is personality. We looked at personality by focusing on the ocean. Okay, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. What is your personality? Have you tried to match your personality with the kind of job that you're doing? Or the people around you, have you tried to match them with you yourself to know whether they fit within? Okay, or what can you get out of them based on their personality? Because they can help you. Are you seeing the people that are open? They're wide open. They are willing to welcome anybody and willing to welcome any new experiences. Who are the open people within your circles that you can count on, that when you bring an idea, they are not going to criticize, but they are going to help you to reshape it? How about conscious people who are going to guard you from going astray, okay, with what you are thinking about? Do you have any of those? Have you tried to share with them your ideas? So it is my task to you today. Look around for the people. As you can see, the personalities already have icons that show what they represent. Okay, extroverts are people that are really happy. They are going to be excited about what you're doing and they are going to motivate you to go on. Agreeable people are the people that are going to tell you, yes, this can break through. And you need all these kinds of people, including the moody people who are emotionally unstable. Because sometimes you will need to deal with staff-minded people, and you will need people like those, like loan officers, who are going to come and tell you, man, you better pay up what we have. So you need all kinds of personalities. So look around. Are you rich in, personalities with your friends? So look around. We also in the previous session looked at improving networking skills. In that picture, what do you see? You're seeing the US president, one of US's greatest president, Barack Obama, not so? What is he doing? A man of his caliber, would you expect him to lower himself to go and play basketball with such fellows there on the court? Of course not. But he is a person who is looking out for networks, because he knows that he will need them. Eventually, when he runs, he will need them. Actually, people wrote a documentary about him, and they said that every time he was campaigning, he would at least go to the locals and play with them basketball, because he wanted to bond with them. He believed that they would be a good source of capital to push him where he wanted. So, how is your relationship with your friends and family? Okay, that is one source of network that you have. They can help you so much with pushing your goals. So check it. How is your family in sync with what you're doing? How are your friends supporting what you're doing? Have you in the first place told them that this is what you're doing? Because somehow they will help you. Professionals. Who are the people in line in the field where you want to invest that you're interacting with, that you're rubbing shoulders with? Because chances are high that those people who are already into that business already know what is with the business, so they can be able to guide you. There's an African proverb that goes that, if you want to know what is there, ask the people who are coming from there. They will tell you. But most of the times for us, we go full board. We have not sought advice. We have not done market research. We have not asked the people that have been in the field. And eventually we end up knocking and we lose everything that we have, and we get frustrated and we say, business is not ours. The next are the fellows. Fellows are your colleagues, people around you. Sometimes they can give you good advice that you may not have thought about it. Sometimes we might have oversights of certain things, but our fellows, our peers, our colleagues will help to keep us in check. That our ideas are not wild. So you need everybody. You need to expand your network. But also be careful when you're sharing your ideas, because you might share with certain people and they will take your prototype and they will market test it and they will run with it. By the time you realize, because they have more money than you, they have already invested your idea. So as you expand, also look around for honest and trusted people who you can bank on, who you know that even if you shared your ideas, they will not go against your back. So sometimes you will wonder, I don't have professionals within my circles. I do not have any person, who is into the business, and it will need me to move around and look for them. But if you look around and get them, how then do you start a conversation with them? So the previous videos also gave you tips on how to start a conversation. One, when you meet somebody for the first time, usually a handshake, if you give them a firm handshake, or right now because of corona, if your voice tonation asserts that you're interested in them and you maintain eye contact, that is enough for you to win a conversation with them. Then be focused. Know what you want with them. You have met a certain business guru who is an IT expert, who you think can be able to help you with your business. Then make sure that the first thing is define the goals that you would want to achieve by the end of the discussion of the time that he has given you, and be focused. Don't ask a lot of things. Ask only the relevant things, okay? That is, keep the ball. Ask only relevant things, because the moment they notice that you're asking things out of context, it will mean that the time that they will give you will be limited. Or next time if you want, they will not take you for serious. So keep the ball and then keep it short. Do not over lengthen the process. Value people's time. So those are the tips for how you can improve your network. We also talked about establishing routines, because routines help you to keep you in check of what you're supposed to do. As a team, you're supposed to have a routine, okay? That when we start with our meetings, we must start maybe with visiting what we discussed last. We must start with a prayer, okay? We must have a session whereby everybody stops and pauses and just thinks, and then afterwards we write ideas. Routines are good. Teresa said in her presentation that a routine is only a routine if you don't think about it anymore. Just like that guy who is brushing, my friend. Everybody, I'm sure that you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is, apart from those others that I am seeing on the group here, but I know that everybody here wakes up and goes to the bathroom and first of all does what? Brushes the teeth, just like that young man there. You brush your tooth, and no one needs to remind you that you need to brush your tooth, but you know your teeth, but you know that it is part of you, it has become part of you. because you know that if you don't brush your teeth, you're going to do what? You're going to smell. Your mouth is going to smell, and you're going to have tooth decay. So routines help keep us in check of what we are shooting for. So as a group, establish a routine for your meetings that is going to help you to found your business. For example, you can say that every week we must have a tea together, and it is part of you. Okay, you know that every week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. you go out for tea, and during that tea you're going to only talk about how your business is progressing. So that is what establishing a routine is. Now, these are the tasks that you're given last week. You're asked to complete the grid and discuss your resources and networks. Within that, you give your strength as a team and who you know who could sustain you in any way, in your business that you are founding, your startup. Then plan first steps to increase your common networks. Because as you're starting, sometimes you may not have every person that can help you to found at a go. But you realize that this is an application that we need. As I'm going to give you an example of one of the groups that did a very excellent job. You realize that we will need maybe an app developer. We do not have him on board. You will realize that maybe you need a legal person who is going to help you run around with the law. So because you don't have them at that point, you write them down and then you start doing a survey of who can give you the service that you need. That is now the case with expanding your common networks. Okay, so that's how you go about it. So those were the tasks that we had last week. Okay, and yes, this is, as you can see here, this is the task that we had last week. Okay, this is the task that we had last week of filling this grid. Okay, I hope everybody can be able to see that grid. You were supposed to get a purpose for your team. A purpose is a short sentence that describes what you're aiming at. Okay, what is it, or what unique thing are you offering, and how are you going to offer it? That is the purpose. Okay, means and resources. This is essentially what we say, that start with what you have. So you're looking for who you are as a team. Okay, what you know as a team, and who you know as a team that can be able to support you with that particular idea that you have, that particular startup that you have. Okay, uncertainty profiling on the other side is, we talked about uncertainties which are either individual or environmental. So you must also know the uncertainties about yourselves. What are those things that may limit you within the environment? What are those things that you think may limit you, and then how are you going to control them? Okay, so you talk about your future, what you want to be. You talk about the goals. Okay, you negotiate as a team. Information, how are you going to be getting information, and how are you going to deal with complexities, and if anything, in any case change happens, how are you going to be able to deal with it? Okay, you remember we also talked about the affordable loss. Okay, if you can recall the effectuation principles, this is essentially what you're supposed to feel. Okay, in the first one we are asking for the means, and the means, we say that this is the bird in the hand. So you feel here what means you have, and this is the layout for how you feel the means that you have. In affordable loss, you remember we said these are the things where if you invest and you lose, okay, it will not hurt you. You have your money, you have raised your money, and you invest, and then for those that want to do agriculture, and then it is a bad weather, and all the crops or all the animals that you have come up with, they go to waste because of weather. So are you going to feel bad and say, I will not invest in it anymore? Or you're going to say, that is worth I've invested? but I believe that next time I can still get the same amount of money and invest, and things are going to be fine. So that's what affordable loss is about. Okay, so how many material means do I have? Okay, how many materials do you have at your disposal that if you invested and you lost them, it will not hurt you? Because business involves risks. Okay, an entrepreneur, you must be a risk taker, because you're entering a venture but you don't know whether it will succeed or not. The chances of success and the chances of failure are 50-50 in entrepreneurship. So the next thing is, what am I prepared to lose? What are you prepared to lose with that you're investing, or what you have in your itinerary? Then what will I invest in the next step? Okay, when you progress, what else are you going to invest to make the business grow? The third thing that we talked about were the partnerships. Who wants already support for your idea? Who is willing to support? Have you tried to scribble down? You remember we said the market research. When you're doing the market research, you're also looking for not only the people that are going to buy, but also the people that are willing to support your idea. So who do you think is going to be able to support the idea that you have? Write them down, who you have already, and you're sure that they are going to support. If you don't have, it is okay. We are going to, as we said, that you can still expand your network. Okay, you can share your idea that you have with people. Okay, and maybe you may find that your rich uncle, your rich dad, your auntie may be willing to support you. Your mom, they may be willing to support you. Or it could be your brother. Okay, those are the circles that we talked about. Or it could be that lecturer. Somebody said Mr. Area, who is our facilitator, is already willing to support us, which is absolutely okay. Okay, so you list down the possible people. It could even be a company, and you think that this idea that you've come up with, they might be willing to support it. So you come up with all those people in step 2, which are the possible future partners. Okay, you will have people that you already have, but also in the future who will be willing to support your idea that you have. Okay, your business. So you list them down. The next thing is, what are the commitments I want to achieve? Okay, you know, when people partner with you, when people give you their resources, their time, okay, they expect a lot. I am a believer, and the Bible says that to he who much is given, much is expected. So when they give you their money, they're expecting a lot from you. So what commitments are you willing to give, and so that you may be able to achieve with what you have been given? So you list them down. In the next steps, what will I do next? You also explore that. What will I do next? How would this change my means? You explore that. And then, how could this change my goals? Okay, you also write about that, because you know very well that we talked about that in the four principles. We also talked about, after talking about the means, affordable loss, partnerships. Okay, we also talked about what is this? Let's just get back and we see that. Okay, yes, we also talked about use mistakes and surprises and make lemonade out of them. Yes, that's what we talked about. Okay, in the next step. So here, basically, you're defining what will I do next. Okay, after you have listed all these things. Okay, in uncertainty, sorry, profiling is where you talk about the lemonade. Now, after you have come up with all this, then you start defining your next steps of how you plan to launch your startup. Okay, what will I do next? How would this change my means? Okay, with what you have. You remember the means we talked about, what you have at your disposal. And how could this change my goals? Okay, what you're aiming at. Remember the goals, we said they will come from the purpose, okay, and the uncertainties after you have profiled, okay. And then from there, you will now go to the downer stage. All these are leading you to a creative space, okay. A creative space is what does this mean for my team and their competing values, okay. And then how can we adopt my goals, we meaning the team goals, to my affordable loss, and what does this mean for my business model, okay. That is the creative space. Now you're thinking broadly about how you can be able to change your startup, okay. Leverage surprises, okay. We talked about it also, and we said that it will now involve how can I exploit my network, whom do I want to get to know, in which places. Things like that are the ones that you're looking at. And then the prototype, okay, of what you have already put in place, okay. So that is what we expected you to feel last week, okay, including you being able to answer the tasks that were put before you. Unfortunately, most of us went to the internet and got work. Now, this is what you are going to do. If you're stuck in any way, just like somebody, Javan, who asked me, I do not know how to fill this, and Owere, I do not know how to fill this. Can you kindly assist me? Now, what you are going to be doing is that if you have now issues, okay, raise them directly to me. If you have issues of feeling, I see there is a group that of visionaries who seem to be a bit ahead, okay, in the things. I saw their last week's minutes. They were really super following the required model. And I also see that even within this, as we are going to be sharing, because those guys have really amazed me. Yeah, you ask them how they are doing it, then they will be able to guide you. Because take this as serious. You never know, this could be your window, this could be your door for starting a powerful business that you've thought about or you've never thought about. And it is going to be life changing and game changing in the entire of your life. So I want you to take it very, very seriously, okay? Take it very seriously, as I told you. So this is one of the best that I chose last week to look at for the visionaries, okay. This is how they filled their grid, okay. In the purpose, you see that they defined their purpose very well. Vision purpose vision is to establish a platform that eases the life of all car owners. Yes, it can be improved, but you see that they have tried to fit within and define what they want. Their idea is about creating and designing an app, developing an app that can be able to assist car drivers and car owners to book parking space in time. So you see all the other out here, they try to fit everything within the grid, okay. And trust me, these guys, if they are to go with this idea very well, they can design the app that is going to change not only the life of Kenyans, but the life of Africa as a whole, because Africa is facing a lot of challenges to do with traffic jam. And if somebody has an emergency and they would want to run very fast to do certain things, of course they are going to look for the nearest parking where they can put their car is safe, and maybe jump on a border, and maybe jump on a plane, jump on things that are easier to use, easier means, and then get to the place where they want to go, and then eventually come back and pick their car. This is Africa cutting across. In Kampala, where I come from, man, jam is an issue. So with that app, I'm sure these guys are going to break the world. So what are you willing to offer as a team? Have you carried out, you remember we said that what do you start with? What they need. What do they need? Because they've defined it, and they are saying that these guys need this application that is going to be able to help them solve the issues of parking, because they have already empathized with them. They have empathized with them. They know that there's a challenge. They are always frustrated. Sometimes people even miss important appointments. So it is really, really very important. I have seen that most of you are really missing out. And, you know, in their minutes, just the caption of their minutes, this is part of what they did, okay? They said, after scrutinizing ourselves as a team, we're able to identify our strongholds. One was that we share our load by distributing our work fairly, and each member can be relieved on. Two is that we complement each other's skills to move our group forward. Thirdly, each member is skilled and tactful communicator. Fourth is good leadership from our leader. And then, yes, they try to define what they have. And then in two, who we know as a team. Each of them suggested, and they came up with one strong member who everybody believed that they can be able to help them at this particular moment, and that was Godfrey Kinyua. And this guy was to help them develop an app and to increase their network. As you can see, they said that we agreed to incorporate networking into our everyday routine and start building it during our everyday activities, okay? And in their actionable points, they said they are going to use LinkedIn to get professional people in the business field where they are. This is very beautiful. So I expect such kinds of, you know, quality of work from each of you, because I know that these ideas are not just a mere coursework. These ideas are not just a mere, you know, fulfilling a certain task, but I know that these ideas are going to be businesses that you're going to use for the future. You know, in the first presentation that we had, the kickoff, I already said that the reason why the PUK project is existing, the PUK meaning Developing Entrepreneurial Universities in Kenya, it is because we realize that there is a gap between unemployment, the youth that are being developed, vis-a-vis the jobs that are available. That instead of competing with so many graduates who are getting out, especially now that we have East African integration, found your business and you'll be able to employ even more. So that's what we are trying to do, to skill you so that you can have your business run. So having said that, I want to take you through our weekly feedback, how you performed. I'm going to run through very fast, but I'm going to still upload it just like last week, and you will go and read and internalize. Anything that you do not understand, please get back to me. And I am also saying that on Monday, all the group leaders, please organize in a smarter way. Shadi, I know you have always helped us to do this. Organize us so that on Monday at least we have a 30 minutes feedback session with each and every leader, okay? With each and every group, okay? You tell me what you're experiencing so far from the time that we started, because I realize that there is also a lot of attrition. There are a lot of members that are dropping out. We get to know your resources, we get to know why you're not progressing, so that we see how we can possibly be of help, okay? So, this is our feedback. This is our feedback. The Blaze Group Team 1, I haven't got work from you. I don't know what happened. Mary, could you, or Milton, or Abdallah, could you just post me feedback and I know why you didn't progress? Joyfee, this is my feedback. You're doing mobile business, mobile food business, which is a great idea, but you need to go back to identify people's needs versus what you think they need. Because what I'm sensing is that you're thinking for people, which is really very dangerous. If you think for people, you may get surprised when you launch finally your product when people do not need it, okay? So go back and really ask a few locals whether they really need this mobile food business. Then you need to complete and attach your factual grid. I didn't see it, okay? Because it shows the resources which you have as a team to be able to run this idea that you have. You also didn't sufficiently explore all the resources that you have, i.e. the team strength. Who do you know who can sustain you, and how your network can be boosted. And a key observation is that you need to do the assignment as a task helping you to found a business. Because, as opposed to just meeting for just a few hours and then do it and then hand in. Do it as a task that is helping you to found a business. My role is just to facilitate you to get that business that you have always dreamt about. Masterminds entrepreneurs, this is my feedback to you. Kindly follow the model instructions. The instructions are already laid out there. Do not go to Google. Just stick to what you have been given. Okay? It will be wise for you to approach this training as a means of boosting your entrepreneurial behavior and skills rather than a coursework to accomplish. That's what I think. Then complete the factual grid and answer the weekly tasks. The business idea seems to be totally new and not gone through the process of founding the business idea that you came up with. So you need to ask yourself, do the farmers need what you are proposing? Okay, as opposed to what you think you should give them. AEE internship, I feel that you need to complete the factual grid and respond to the weekly tasks. You didn't do that. Also ensure that you watch the videos carefully to help you learn the tasks very well. Okay. Kara-Fundi, you have a good idea of waste management, but have you thought about going beyond just garbage collection? Is there anything you can create out of this garbage that can be game changing? Because garbage collection, yes, people will give you wastes, but how much will you charge for maybe waste collection? That is about maybe let's say 10K from every home per month. Okay, 1,000 Kenyan shilling per month from every home, let's say. But will there be any willing donors that are going to invest money into just collecting rubbish? So how about if you think creatively, what can come out of this garbage that we have collected? Now that will be the game changer for you, because your idea is really good. I told you about in the first slide about those two Tanzanians who came up with an idea where they are making money out of garbage. They make charcoal, and that charcoal from home wastes, and that charcoal has proved to be cost effective, and it has proved to be environmental friendly. So people are sponsoring their charcoal so much. Okay, so explore what can this garbage that you're collecting be of help to you. Okay, so make sure you do it. Otherwise, complete the effectual grid and submit. Also, where possible, revisit the design thinking approach and see if there is something unique you could think of to offer as an innovation. Okay. I also feel visionaries, these guys are the one that I have set a pace for us. They have a great idea, and I just think let's keep up the pace. You're on your way to launching an amazing application that will change Africa's crazy parking system. Just follow instructions very well. That's all I have for you. Team 7, you have not yet come up with a name. Okay. You need to get up Koki, Valeria, Michelle, and then Anne Njaji. Please come up with a name. Link the business idea to the discussion of the assignment, and then kindly complete the effectual grid and where possible attach for examination and guidance. Great evaluation of tasks given but lacks proper presentation skills of the work, then work within the templates provided on the module platform. Okay. Also, the points given are too generic and not specific, so work on that. Team 8, Kennedy, Job, Shelmith, I don't know what happened. Okay, please hand in the work. I need to see it. The Alphas, Faith, Philip, Brian. Okay, I think you have not also handed in the task. I need a task. Group 10, Germany's Travels, Anne, Asava, Edwin. I also need the task. Team 11, Nyanjahu, Ndiwa, Peter. I need also to look at what you have done. Group 12, Phonics. I also need to look at what you have done. Simon, Zamzam, Koech. I need to look at your task. Group 13, Zioki, Joyce, Gabriel, I need to look at your task. Mutanda, I expect a lot from you. Please make sure that task is seen. Daniel, Dube, Benjamin, group 14, I also want to see your work. Group 15, Omeke, Faith, and Onyanja, okay, this is my feedback to you. The team will do well with following instructions as provided by the session tasks, so make sure you watch the videos very well, okay, and understand them, and do not use Google. Just refer to the videos specifically and what you yourselves are observing within the environment. Let the videos be the ones to teach you, okay? Then kindly refer to the correct effectual grid and complete it. It's an effective tool to discover you as a team and your environment, okay? EFC's group, Florence, Munene, and Caroline, follow session 1 teaching in founding a business idea. Go through the process of design thinking approach first before you bring the idea that you have, okay? Avoid offering what you think they need. Instead, offer what they need based on market research and empathizing, okay? And kindly attach exercise for session 2 because you didn't. The lead team, the business idea is not yet clear. I cannot be able to follow up through what you are doing. So within the grid, you need to be precise, concise, and straight to the issue by clearly stating what it is. Okay, for example, partnerships. State the people and how you think they will be of help. Kindly attach the weekly tasks to answering the questions. You could do that in a minutes template. Okay, the minutes template is already provided. Group 18, Logic Mind Tech Enterprises. You well tried. You tried discussing and relating the videos. You need to work within the template next time and learn to go around the challenges in order to become successful. I also find your solution ordinary. Have you asked the questions? For example, do we have a ready market for our product? Does it suit the needs of the people we are targeting? So you need to ask yourself those questions, okay? Group 19, I haven't seen your tasks yet, okay? Group 19, I haven't seen your tasks yet. Group 22, Group 21, and I saw a new group that came up called the Ego Group, but it doesn't have members. I only saw Ann Mutua who uploaded it. It has no members, does not have a definite business idea, it's not defined, and the steps are not also clearly elaborated, okay? So make sure you work through and make sure we have brilliant ideas. So that is my feedback for you. Now, I want you to know that in business, your network is your net worth. It's not about how much you're willing to invest, but it's about how many people you know that can be able to support what you have. So work on your net worth. Work on your network. Are you seeing that guy in red? That guy in red only knows how many people, the first contact. The first contact is there. The guy in yellow, he knows the guy in blue, he knows the guy in green, he knows the guy in purple. But because he knows the guy in green, the guy in green can be able to connect him to these nodes, can also be able to connect him to this node. Because he knows the guy in red can be able to complete this. The guy in green can be able to link him here and here. The guy in purple can be able to link him here. So that is how founding a business is all about. When you have a network, that there are certain areas where you will not be where you'll be limited, and you'll need somebody else to be able to solve that issue. If that someone who you know does not know how to help you to solve that issue, is going to recommend you to somebody else who can be able to help you solve the issue. And working on that somebody else's recommendation He can also help you to recommend you to somebody else who can also help you to recommend you to somebody else. That is the power of a network. But if you do not have people around you who are going to support you, it will be very difficult for you to break through in business. Now, on Monday, I would want to get feedback on a personal basis, on a group basis, as I said. You're going to break up into the groups that you have, okay? And I am going to ask, of course, Shadi proved to be our group coordinator, but also members within the visionary group can also volunteer, any of them. And also Mutanda was really up to it. So what I'm going to ask you is break up into smaller groups, and on Monday, design a program where I can be able to engage each of you at least for 20 to 30 minutes, okay, with how far you are running with your idea, and then how can I best support you. Because my interest is not for you to complete this task. My interest is for you to have a business idea in the end. So group leaders work very well to provide the time. And also, our weekly assignments are going to be ready within an hour that we are going to do for session 3. So make sure you meet and do them. Do not postpone. The moment they are there, meet and immediately start working on them, because the more you postpone, the more it becomes difficult for you to do the assignment. So, having said that, I want to thank you so much for being part of this live stream for today. I want you to work on your work, because I expect a lot from you. I expect the next CEOs from you. I expect the next employers from you. Okay? So, work on your tasks. Let's meet on Monday in the small groups. And also, let's finally meet, okay, in our live feedback session. I think Friday works best, okay, at 3 p.m. Nice time. Bye. Yeah. Oh, if you have any feedback, do not wait. Just as you've been contacting me in my WhatsApp, please make sure you contact me through my WhatsApp, and let me answer those questions and concerns that you have, or on the Moodle platform, okay? All right, Kali, nice time. Thank you so much.